Hello everybody, this is the phonology stuff I do on my channel, where I read a Wikipedia article so you don't have to, because I like doing it, okay? Now, before we start, I am going to mostly be talking about the Portuguese spoken in Brazil. Why not so that much in Portugal? Because, see, Portugal doesn't exist. It was all a lie, a conspiracy. Nah, but seriously, it's because you're never going to need to go to Portugal, okay? Now, first let's start with the consonants. Ma, na, pa, ta, ga, ba, da, ga, fasa, sha, vaza, ja, ya, wa, la, and other things besides those are gonna need a bit more nuance. So, all of those are pronounced exactly how they are in English, except ba, da, and ga. This is because they're not aspirated in the sense that, yeah, they are usually in English. This, like, you know that little puff of air when you say pot, talk, or cock? It's that little puff, you know? In Portuguese, they don't have that. It would just be bop, dop, gop. And T is also made by putting your lip between your two teeth, like in Spanish. And it's like this da, which is different if you were to use your allogals like in Japanese da. Now, let's cover some other things, shall we? There is this palatal nasal thing. I say thing because in Portugal they pronounce it as nha, but in Brazil and Angola they pronounce it as nha, nha, which is like the way you say ya in English, except you breathe a bit air in your nose, like nasalize it, like you do with or yeah, yeah. You're gonna have to get used to that to speak Portuguese properly. Trust me. And now let's cover ya, which is like usually pronounced like that when before I preceding it. It's like la, except you pronounce it when your mouth is in the E position. E, like in the Portuguese word for lemon, limão. So, keep that in mind. And there's also a few affricates, though these affricates are only loan words, native Portuguese words. They don't have cha and ja. Though the thing is that in Portugal they substitute them with fricatives. However, in most places in Brazil they actually do pronounce it as ja and cha. And another thing I want to consider is that Portuguese stops ba, da, and ga are lenited in the same manner as Spanish, where except at the beginning of a word or after nasal vowels, which is exclusive to Portuguese, B, D, and G are pronounced as ra, tha, and ga. And remember, the only exception is if they're at the beginning of words or after nasal vowels. Other than that, it's just ra, ga, and the. Let me show you how to pronounce them. The is the exact same as English, you know, like in that. Ra is like, you know the way you make G in English, ga? Well, try making a little gap in between the places where you make that sound, and like breathing a little air, so like it's it should look like a steady one like that, not like ga, where it sort of goes up and down. Now, then there's wa. Wa is like Japanese F, except you voice it, which is like vibrating your vocal cords like you do with za, but not in sa. For those who don't know what that means, like the Japanese F thing I made, you make it by, try saying ba, except like, instead of like doing how you normally do, put a little space between your lips, and then breathe air. Again, it should look like that line. So, yeah. Now, let's cover the way R is pronounced, because that's one. Now, there are two ways R can be pronounced. There's Ra, in some places of Portugal, Ra, but which is R English in English, except without rounding Ra. But the most common way is Ra, which is like Japanese R. It's where you like flap your tongue from the lower place you make top, from the top of it to the bottom, like Ra. And then there's the other type of R, which can be pronounced as ha in Portugal. The thing is, though, that in Brazil, they pronounce it as either ha, ha, or ha. And the way you contextualize this is that the way it's pronounced is that ra, the one for single, only occurs for a single ra, like a single r, when it occurs between vowels or between a preceding consonant other than na, la, sa, or sha. For ra, it must be a single r, and it's either between vowels or preceding a consonant other than na, la, sa, or sha. If it does not apply to that, then it is pronounced as the guttural R, which is ha, ha, or ha. Feel free to pronounce it as ha if you are most familiar with English, because ha is the exact same as English. And I just told you the thing before about how ra can sometimes be pronounced as ra, which is ra, but except without rounding your lips, because it's quite similar to English, though it's only in like a certain place, like on like Sao Paulo dialect. Now, let's cover the fun part. Vowels. Now, the thing is that there are quite few. Not as much as English, though, because no one likes how many vowels there are in English, but quite a few. There is a, e, o, o, I, U, and there's this weird one which is only in Portuguese, spoken in Portugal, and because I have tried pronouncing that one vowel that is only in the dialect spoken in Portugal, and since it's hard to pronounce, and no one needs to go to Portugal. I'm not going to say it. Now, there's also these nasal vowels, which is which is like Now, the thing is that they are the same way you make earlier, just with these vowels, so you can try practicing. Now, there are also a few diphthongs. First, there are the ones that are unnasalized, which is I, O, I, ow, A, ew, A, ew. Oh, did I pronounce the one earlier as A and ew? Yeah, because I want to do that again. It was I, O, A, ow, A, ew. Yeah, I, ow. There was A, ew. And then, so basically what I just said was that and can be and those can be pronounced with ya or wa at the end point. E can only have wa, like in Brazil. There's no e because obvious reasons. And a can only end with ya, not wa. So there's like I. O can be both oi, o, and u can be ui. Obvious reasons, it can't have wa because they're articulated the same way. Now we have nasal ones, which are I, ow, hey, oi, ow, and oi, which get used to pronouncing that, because the language I comfortably speak has nasal vowels, but they don't have diphthongs. So, yeah. Or actually it does. Yeah, it does. I just pronounce it weirdly. Anyways, that is it for phonology, I think. There's also a few variations, like how and can sometimes be unstressed to or how e or u can be like unstressed to it. Same for e and o to and but you know, I'm not gonna cover it. Because it's still comprehensible if you just pronounce as you mean. Though that would defeat the whole purpose, but it's too complicated for me as the real reason, but I want to pass it off as I have a good reason to ignore it. Okay. Well, video over. Bye.